An absolutely barnstorming stage in La Vuelta today. I'm kidding, I'm just here so I don't get fined. From UTL to Oliva, stage 7, the third sprint stage this week actually. We've been a bit short of punchy finishes maybe, but good GC action yesterday, so I'm not complaining overall. It's been an exciting week. There could have been crosswind action, but the wind was mainly headwind, cross headwind today, and it was sunny, nice weather in the finish. So yeah, it was just one of those days that you have in the Vuelta midweek, and sometimes these stages do turn into carnage if the wind is right on the coast, but it wasn't. So Okamika doing his job getting the breakaway again, FDJ with Lenny getting to chill in the red jersey, Remco calling James Knox a wanker, which was, it was that sort of stage. Everyone's chilling and relaxed, which is nice to see, at least until the last 20 kilometers or so. So Jose Herrada, they're about to be caught at 70 Ks, pretty sick port in Valencia, shipping containers, they're good. And Okamika, the peloton decides, we'll just let him go because why are we chasing a two-man break so much? And he gets a minute again, and then the GC team start to get all positioned up in case the wind is the different direction, so he gets brought back just by default. And here's Cullera. This is where Cort beat Roglic in a 2K 10% punchy finish the other year, and I'm surprised they didn't use that sort of finish this year. And at the intermediate sprint, I was equally surprised to see coming in third, beating Finn Fisher-Black behind Groves and Vandenberg, was Jonas Vingegaard going for the sprint, and it would be confirmed shortly after that he did indeed take the 2 seconds. So like Remco took the 6 the other day, suddenly Vingegaard going for the sprints ahead of the big GC test tomorrow up Lloret de Cati. But as you can see, last 20 minutes in the last hour of the stage going 37 k's an hour with the headwind, everyone freewheeling at the back, not exactly pushing it. We see the sort of stages in UAE Tour sometimes, especially without the breakaway, that they go very slowly, but then the last 10 Ks, everyone's fresh and they just hit it. And so crashes usually happen. Look at the white jersey here. That's Juan Ayuso wearing it because Remco's in the Belgian NC jersey, and he deftly avoids the Jayco rider going down. Really good bike handling from him. We see Koos is down. Otterbrooks is held up. I don't think Otterbrooks really crashed, just more held up. Koos did crash. But you can see here, I think it's Roglic on the left side of the AG2R rider, and he's trying to get to Tratnik's wheel, the younger guy on the left. Vingegaard and Van Baarle on the right-hand side. And Roglic, desperate to get to quote-unquote safety, basically puts this AG2R rider in a box, and the AG2R rider probably thinks he's going to stop here, and he shoots the gap between him and the Coffice rider to get to Tratnik, who's looking over his shoulder. There's a domino effect because the AG2R rider has to stop, the Jayco rider gets chopped. Look at Ayuso on the left, he then avoids disaster, and it's actually Koos behind who has the very soft landing on Pierre Latour's head. That's crash number 1 with 10 Ks to go. Koos would get back to the peloton, currently second on GC just behind Martinez, and unfortunately there would be more crashes. As they got into town, there were more roundabouts, there were more corners, especially in the last kilometre, and it strung out at the back. And we see here, Alpecin are on the right-hand side with 5 riders. Groves has got a sweeper actually on his wheel. Vingegaard's on Van Baarle's wheel too, and actually Lenny's being kept in really good position by FDJ. Antomache on the left for Hugo Page with Aular hopping onto their wheel, and these crashes can come out of nowhere. Like, watch the EF rider. He tries to move left. The Arkea rider, they're running for Hofstadter, moves right a little bit, and then the Arkea rider moves a bit more. The EF rider just feathers the brakes a little bit, and this is all about domino effects. And that nearly takes out Ineos 6 wheels behind because the EF guys all brake a little bit. Narrow miss number 1. Unfortunately for them, they couldn't miss number 2 with Alpecin having issues with their train. Aaron's been going down really hard, really nasty crash actually. He's out of the race. Hope he's okay. And you see the Alpecin rider that was sweeping Groves' wheel basically chops himself pretty much onto Groves' back wheel, and that causes the massive crash behind with the Ineos guys not seeing it, and I think a couple of guys avoided it narrowly, but Aronson went down super hard as you saw. Really sucks for him. And all the preparation, and he did well here last year. And also Thomas, I don't know if he touched down, he was certainly held up. Jumbo on the left narrowly missed crashing again, but that's Thomas on the right hand side. You can see that's Keldman on the left. But some of the other Jumbo guys, like Roglic, I think they nearly crashed at high speed. So this often happens. Slow day, everyone's fresh. the final 10K is super technical. Everyone's trying to get to the front to be safe. People make mistakes, or even a micro mistake when everyone's packed tightly together at 60 kph can have really bad consequences. And this sprint stage is all about these corners. Look at Aular in the Venezuelan national champs jersey. Through this corner, he's going to, dive bomb, rightly or wrongly, dive bombs, gets ahead of two EF riders in a single corner. Groves is currently fourth wheel trying to maintain that position, but he's short of a leader. He normally has 2.5 men in front of him at this point in the other sprint stages, and when it cuts back to the next overhead, we see Aular's dive bombing again. Suddenly, he's up to about sixth wheel. Intermarché trying to give Page a good lead out, but it's a mess. No one's really got a dominant lead out. Oliveira really goes to the front before the final decisive corner, and look where Soup is. This Total Energy rider here, deep in the bunch. He's behind about 15 riders at this point, and he, through this, or just before the corner, sees an opening to his left, because I think David Gonzalez for Caja opens it up, and the inside of this corner was the fastest line. It seems like the guys who had really good bike handling, Soup and Gonzalez, pop up with Aular on the inside of this corner here, and they take a really sharp line much faster than Vandenberg. And maybe also look at Oliveira on the front, the UAE rider. He feathers his brakes really aggressively through this corner, and I think that blocks Groves badly, and all the guys on the inside, Soup, Gonzalez, they get a really good run at it, and Edward turns, and Soup's able to kick out of that corner, 200 to go. The camera overhead thinks Aular for Caja's won. We know it's certainly an upset between the Total Energies Soup, who's never won a World Tour race or even a Dot Pro race. You see here, Soup kicks out. Aular's a bit boxed in by his own teammate Gonzalez. Ahead of him, Groves is completely boxed in. He doesn't know whether to go left, following Aular, or right around Vandenberg. He eventually he has to switch back, and Milano's also blocked, and he tries to box in Groves himself, and so Groves is just taken out of the sprint. Soup, super strong to hold on. I mean, he deserved to win. He got that corner, timed it perfectly, didn't have a lead out himself, did it all himself, held on. Huge win for Total. They haven't won a Grand Tour stage for 6 years, and the most improbable victory. Like, this is the biggest upset of the year. Like, betting odds or whatever wise, Jeffrey Soup's normally like a lead out in the French circuit for Tesson or whatever, and yeah, huge win for him, and it's nice to see someone different get the W.
Normally, I don't have in the Vuelta for this year, but Alexis Villermoz crashed on the Tour de l'Ain, and so the team decided to pick me to the Vuelta, and yeah, I don't think is it possible to win a stage.
In terms of GC, not too much changed. Vingegaard gained 2 seconds on Evenepoel. Thomas actually lost 24 seconds due to that crash with 5.2 Ks to go because it was outside the 3 kilometer zone. Big GC today, day tomorrow. Make sure you check out the Lanterne Rouge Cycling Podcast for our watch along with 1 hour to go. I'll see you then. Ciao.